Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Bachelor's Juliana Pasquarosa slams Grant Ellis for claiming he doesn't know why they split. Bachelor alum Juliana Pasquarosa just slammed her ex-fiancé Grant Ellis after he claimed he doesn't know why they broke up. During a recent Instagram Q&A, Ellis was asked multiple times about the status of he and Pasquarosa's relationship. "You know, it's a difficult question. When two people make a commitment, I feel like they're supposed to do everything they can to try to make it work," he said. "But you know, that wasn't the case, and I guess we just weren't meant for each other." Later, he was asked the reason the couple ended their engagement. "I fully don't know," he responded, "but I know there were some issues and we just couldn't make it work." Pasquarosa, on the other hand, has a very different answer as to why the couple split, sharing a telling message on her Instagram story on Tuesday, September 16. "We have talked after the breakup multiple times. He reached out to my family and friends multiple times. They always responded," she wrote under a post that read, "Blame I didn't try. I stayed even when I felt unloved. He also knows why we broke up. He just doesn't want you to know why," she concluded. The couple, who met and got engaged on the most recent season of The Bachelor, first announced the breakup news on June 13 via Instagram. "Juliana and I have decided to end our relationship," wrote Ellis via his Instagram story at the time. "We both gave this our best and poured a lot of love into each other. But after a lot of deep conversations, we've come to the understanding that we're simply not the right fit long-term. What we had was meaningful. The connection we built on the show was real, and so was the effort we made to continue once the cameras stopped rolling," he added. Later on, he hinted that Pasquarosa was the one who initiated the split, despite repeatedly saying the breakup was mutual. When Juliana Pasquarosa signed up for The Bachelor, she knew her heart might be on the line, but she didn't expect her post-show love life to become a national talking point. This week, the season 29 alum made headlines when she publicly clapped back at her former fiancé, Grant Ellis, after he claimed in a recent interview that he doesn't know why they split. Juliana, known for her honesty and fiery Italian personality on the show, took to Instagram with a scathing video that sent Bachelor Nation into a frenzy. Her message was clear: she is done being polite, and she isn't going to let Grant rewrite the story of their breakup. The calm before the storm. Fans remembered Juliana and Grant as one of the strongest couples of their season. Their connection was palpable from night one. The way he pulled her aside for extra time at the mansion, the chemistry on their vineyard date, and, of course, the emotional final proposal that brought half of Bachelor Nation to tears. After filming Wrapped, the couple appeared inseparable on social media, posting vacation photos, cooking videos, and sweet couple challenge clips that had fans dubbing them the franchise's next golden couple. But behind the scenes, Juliana says, cracks were already beginning to form. "It wasn't a fairy tale when the cameras stopped rolling," she revealed in her Instagram post. "We had communication issues, we had trust issues, and I was the only one willing to work through them." Grant's interview that sparked the fire. Grant's recent podcast appearance was supposed to be a lighthearted chat about his new career ventures. But when the host inevitably asked about his very public breakup, Grant gave a response that left many viewers scratching their heads. "I honestly don't know why we broke up," he said casually. "One day we were fine. The next day she said she needed space. I never got an explanation." For Juliana, that was the last straw. "That's not just inaccurate, it's insulting," she said in her clapback video. "I gave you pages of explanations. I sat across from you crying, begging you to go to therapy with me, and you refused. I spelled out what I needed in the relationship, and you told me you couldn't give it. So don't sit there and play the clueless victim." Breaking down Juliana's response. Juliana's video wasn't just a vent session. It was a carefully crafted response that mixed vulnerability with empowerment. She started by calmly recounting the early days of their relationship, acknowledging that she had loved Grant deeply. Then she pivoted to the core issues. Lack of effort. I wanted us to grow together, but it felt like I was the only one putting in the work. Trust problems. While she didn't outright accuse Grant of cheating, Juliana hinted that there were boundaries crossed that made her feel unsafe. Dismissiveness. Every time I brought up a concern, I was told I was being dramatic or too sensitive. That's not partnership. That's gaslighting. Her tone grew more defiant as she concluded the video with a direct message to Grant. You don't get to play dumb and pretend you were blindsided. You know exactly why we ended, and I refuse to let you turn me into some mystery ex-girlfriend in your story. I deserve better than that, and so do the women watching this. Bachelor Nation reacts. The comment section lit up within minutes. Fellow Bachelor alums like Daisy Kent, Jen Tran, and even former Bachelorette Charity Lawson chimed in with messages of support. Proud of you for speaking your truth, Daisy wrote. This is the closure a lot of us never got to share, Jen added. Even fans who once sided with Grant began to rethink their position. This changes everything, one fan tweeted. If what Juliana says is true, Grant's whole "I'm just confused" act feels manipulative. Grant's subtle countermove. Grant hasn't made a formal statement since Juliana's video went viral, but eagle-eyed followers noticed he quietly turned off comments on his last 3 Instagram posts. He also shared a cryptic quote on his story that read, "Sometimes silence is the loudest answer." While some fans viewed this as an attempt to rise above the drama, others saw it as a cop-out. Silence isn't accountability, one Reddit user wrote in a Bachelor fan forum. If he's getting called out, he owes Juliana and his fans some honesty. Beyond the breakup, Juliana's next chapter. Juliana isn't just reliving old drama, she's using it as a launching pad for something new. At the end of her video, she announced she is starting a podcast titled Heart Unfiltered, where she'll discuss love, breakups, and emotional growth without the reality TV editing. I'm done being the girl who cries in silence, she said. I want to talk about what really happens when the cameras stop and the real-life stuff starts. If sharing my story helps one woman walk away from a relationship that doesn't serve her, it's worth it. Her followers erupted with excitement, with many saying they'd tune in to hear the raw, uncut Juliana they fell in love with during the show. The bigger picture. Juliana and Grant's public fallout is more than just Bachelor Nation gossip. It's a reminder that reality TV romances are rarely as simple as they seem. The glossy proposal, the perfect Instagram posts, and the post-show interviews don't always reflect the complicated work of building a healthy relationship. Juliana's decision to speak up also represents a shift in how Bachelor alums handle breakups. Instead of vague statements about mutual respect and different life paths, Juliana gave fans a transparent look at what really happened and why she refuses to let her narrative be controlled by someone else. Where do they go from here? Whether Grant will eventually respond remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. Juliana isn't backing down. She's reclaiming her voice, her story, and her platform. And she's reminding fans that sometimes the most dramatic rose ceremony happens long after the cameras stop rolling. Bachelor Nation loves a redemption arc, and both Juliana and Grant now have the chance to write theirs. But if Juliana's fiery video is any indication, hers is going to be a story of strength, growth, and unapologetic truth-telling.